Tuba. One word, 2 syllables, less than 1 second to speak. And Jesus of Nazareth, the same one who raised the dead and restored sight to the blind, repeated it 9 times in a row. Not by accident, not for style, not as a literary device, because every single time Tuba left his lips, a different frequency was activated. A different portal was opened. A different dimension of abundance became accessible to anyone willing to receive it. And 99% of people who have read the Beatitudes their entire lives never noticed. Because the translators erased it. Because the theologians replaced it. Because the word that Jesus actually used was buried under centuries of interpretation. And what was lost with it was not just a word. What was lost was the key. TOOBA is not a blessing in the conventional sense. It is a sound that contemplatives in both East and West preserved in silence for centuries. It is a vibration the Gnostics encoded in hidden texts. It is the frequency Jesus chose, and not any other, to open 9 specific gates of a life that The Aramaic is not just a language. It is a sacred vibration. To ensure you capture every nuance of the frequency that Jesus used, I have prepared a visual pronunciation guide that will appear on your screen. Observe the symbols and the phonetics as we hear the sound, so that your intention is in perfect harmony with the word. Stay until the end of this video, because, at the close, I will give you the complete transformation protocol, the 2 Aramaic words that will allow you to carry this frequency into every morning of your life. 9 times. 9 frequencies. 9 dimensions of a life that does not just survive, but truly overflows. It begins now. Most people have never heard the word Tuba in a church, and that is not a coincidence. When the Beatitudes were translated from Aramaic into Greek, the word Tuba became When Makarios moved into Latin, it became When Beatus entered English, it became blessed. And with each translation, something essential was lost, not just a meaning, but a dimension of sound, of vibration, of original intent. Because in the Aramaic that Jesus actually spoke, Tuba does not simply mean blessed. It carries within it the idea of a deep, interior ripeness, a state of wholeness so complete that it radiates outward. The rabbinical tradition associated Tuba with the image of a tree so rooted, so nourished, so alive from within, that abundance becomes not what it receives, but what it naturally produces. Jesus did not say, "Happy are the poor in spirit, Esaid Teo Obea," and pointed at a state of being that happiness cannot contain. He was not offering consolation. He was describing a frequency, a vibrational condition of the soul that, when reached, aligns the person with the very source of all that exists. The scholar and Aramaic scholar Neil Duke, in his landmark work, Prayers of the Cosmos, writes that Aramaic words carry layers of meaning that Greek simply cannot hold. That, when Jesus spoke, each word was a universe. And Tuba, he observes, is perhaps the most layered of all, because it simultaneously addresses the inner state, the relational posture, and the cosmic consequence. 1 word, 3 dimensions, 9 repetitions. And in the next chapter, you will discover why the very first Tuba was not spoken to the successful, the strong, or the certain, but to those who had nothing left to offer. The first 4 gates, Jesus opened the first gate with words that made no sense to the world around him. Tuba, to the poor in spirit. Not the wealthy, not the powerful, not the theologically trained. The poor in spirit. In Aramaic, the word he used for poor is ebion, and it does not simply mean lacking resources. It means one who is completely empty of self, one who has released the illusion of control. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of readiness, because a vessel that is already full cannot receive anything new. Tuba opens only where there is interior space. The second gate, Tuba, to those who mourn. In Aramaic, mourning abila is not passive grief. It is the active ache of a soul that is still sensitive, still awake, still capable of being moved. Jesus was not glorifying suffering. He was pointing to the frequency of a heart that has not gone numb. The third gate, Tuba, to the meek. The Aramaic makik does not mean weak or passive. It describes the condition of something that has been refined, like metal passed through fire, or a river that has found its course, power that no longer needs to prove itself. The fourth gate, Tuba, to those who hunger and thirst for justice. In Aramaic, this hunger is kina, a longing so deep it shapes every action, every decision, every breath. Jesus was describing a soul so aligned with divine order that its very desire becomes a force of transformation in the world. 4 gates, 4 frequencies. And we have not yet reached the deepest ones. In the next chapter, I will reveal the frequency that very few people ever access because it demands something most are afraid to give. The words of Jesus in Aramaic open different pathways back to divine alignment. Each one represents a frequency capable of restoring something fragmented in human consciousness. Understanding these frequencies is the first step, but mastering their vibration in your daily life is where the true miracle happens. Aramaic words carry a sound dimension that is deeply vibrational, and some of these pronunciations may reach your ear slightly differently, depending on how they are rendered. To help you embody each frequency with precision, I created a collection of 4 sacred study guides, each one dedicated to a specific Aramaic declaration and its practice. Inside, you will find the correct pronunciation, guided meditations, and daily activation rituals. The link is pinned in the comments. Your deeper transformation begins there. The 5th gate is where most people stop without ever realizing they stopped. Tuba, the merciful. In Aramaic, mercy is rhema, and this word shares its root with rechem, which means womb. Jesus was not asking for tolerance or polite forgiveness. He was describing the capacity to hold another person's pain the way a womb holds life, with warmth, with no conditions, with the full intention that something will be born from this space. When you extend reme, you do not lose something. You activate a frequency of return. Because in the economy of the kingdom that Jesus described, what flows outward always creates the condition for what flows inward. The 5th gate does not open by knowing about mercy. It opens by becoming it. The 6th gate, Tuba, to the pure in heart. The Aramaic daika does not describe moral perfection. It describes clarity, like water that has been completely stilled, so that what lies beneath the surface finally becomes visible. Jesus was pointing to the state of a consciousness so undivided, so free from inner contradiction, that it can perceive what is ordinarily hidden, including the presence of the divine in the most ordinary moments of an ordinary day. The 7th gate, Tuba, to the peacemakers. In Aramaic, peace is shlama, and it is not the absence of conflict. It is the active presence of wholeness. A peacemaker, in the Aramaic sense, is one who carries shlama into every space they enter, not as a technique, but as a frequency of being. As Matthew 5:9 records, Jesus declared these the children of God, not because they avoided difficulty, but because they transformed it. 5, 6, 7. 3 gates in this chapter, and each one deeper than the last. 2. Remain. And the final 2 are the ones almost nobody talks about, because they reveal what TOOBA ultimately costs and what it permanently releases. The 8th gate is the one that makes people uncomfortable. TOOB. A 2, those who are persecuted for righteousness. Not persecuted for being difficult, not persecuted for being self-righteous. Persecuted for zadekutha, the Aramaic word for righteousness, which means alignment with divine order. The soul that is so fully committed to its truest nature that the world around it resists. This is not a call to suffering. It is a description of what happens when a frequency becomes so clear, so strong, so undiluted, that everything out of alignment with it begins to react. Jesus was not glorifying persecution. He was telling his listeners, if the world resists you, it may be because you are carrying something it has not yet learned to receive. TOOB. A, to those who are insulted, rejected, and spoken against because of alignment with the living reality that Jesus himself embodied. In Aramaic, this final tuba carries a weight that the others do not. Because it is not a general principle, it is a direct promise spoken to those who have chosen the frequency of truth over the comfort of belonging. 9. Tuba. 9 gates, and every single one of them ends in the same direction, toward an interior abundance so complete that no external condition can ultimately contain or deny it. The gates are not rewards for behavior. They are frequencies, and frequencies do not require permission. They require alignment. They require the willingness to open, even when everything external suggests that remaining closed is safer. You have heard all 9. Now it is time to receive the practice. If something in you is shifting as you receive this teaching, trust that movement. It is your original nature recognizing itself. The 5 sacred study guides were designed to walk beside you as that remembrance deepens, layer by layer, word by word, frequency by frequency. Each guide carries the full context of these sacred declarations, their sound, their meaning, and their power to dissolve what no longer belongs to you. The link is pinned in the comments. Your return to wholeness has a next step. Before we close, I want to give you something few have ever received. Transformation Protocol. What you are about to receive is not information. It is a practice. In the Aramaic tradition that shaped the world of Jesus, sound and meaning were never separated. A word spoken with full interior alignment did not describe reality. It participated in creating it. Tuba is that kind of word, not a concept to understand, a frequency to embody. The pronunciation will appear on your screen as we move through each step. Observe it before your voice meets it. Let it land visually first. This is how the ancient practitioners prepared, not rushing into sound, but receiving it as presence. Look at the word now, appearing on your screen. The first word is Tuba, spoken not as a wish, but as a declaration of a state that already exists beneath every condition surrounding you. In the Aramaic that Jesus spoke, Tuba does not ask the external world for anything. It recognizes an interior reality that abundance cannot create and circumstances cannot destroy. Use this word in the first moments of your morning, before the mind fills with tasks, before the world makes its demands. Speak it as a recognition. The frequency of overflow is already active within me. I am already rooted. I am already in the condition Jesus described. Now observe the second word on your screen. The second word is TOOBA. Spoken again, but this time directed outward. Not inward toward your own condition, but outward toward every person, every situation, every space you will enter today. This is the movement Jesus encoded in the Beatitudes. Tuba first received, then Tuba extended. The merciful receive mercy. The peacemakers carry wholeness. The pure perceive what others cannot see. The second Tuba is not a repetition. It is a completion. It closes the circuit between what you receive and what you release into the world. Now, observe both words together on your screen. Speak Tuba inward. Pause for one full breath, then speak Tuba outward. This is the complete sequence. 9 repetitions, 1 for each gate that Jesus opened. Practice it at dawn, in the threshold between sleep and waking, when the interior space is still open and the noise of the day has not yet arrived. 9 repetitions, 1 word. 2 directions, 1 frequency that transforms everything it touches. This is the practice Jesus encoded across 9 declarations. You now carry it. If these words touched something real in you today, if something shifted, come to the comments right now and leave the word transformation. That single word tells me the frequency landed, and it opens the door for what comes next. Did you feel something shift today? Did these words touch something deeper in you? When the light moves, it needs a path. Discover our complete collection of 5 sacred study guides created to carry your transformation beyond this moment. With correct pronunciation, guided meditations, and daily activation rituals for each Aramaic word. The link is pinned in the comments. Your next step is waiting. We are just beginning to uncover this ancient power. In our next video, I will reveal even deeper Aramaic codes that unlock a spiritual authority you have never imagined. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you do not miss what is coming right now. Before you close this video, subscribe to this channel. Every week, we go deeper into the ancient frequency codes that were always meant to be yours.